It's Madden NFL 23, and we'll be watching the dynamic Tyreek Hill. He's putting together one of the better seasons in league history. It's the Dolphins and the Chargers on EA Sports.
We are just a couple miles east of the LAX airport, just off the 405 or the 105 at the beautiful SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. Today, it's a Week 14 matchup that should be a good one between the Miami Dolphins. Of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. Taken at the goal line. And he returns this to the 22.
Holding.
It didn't take long to see our first penalty of the game, did it?
We always talk about everyone wanting to get into the game in a hurry. The officials did as well.
Tua now on first down. Trucks over him. And it's out to the flat. Mostert. The game's first play. Yards, brings up second down. Here's Tua. This one complete to Jalen Waddle. And now off to the races down the right side. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Jalen Waddle with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Dolphins go down the field in just 2 plays to take the early lead. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And it's now a 7-0 game. For as big and strong as some of these guys are, especially when you see them in full pads, it is sometimes hard to appreciate how truly fast they can move. That was incredible.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
Herbert on first down now. He's got Allen. A quick check on the numbers for Keenan Allen from last week. 5 catches, 76 yards.
And I get the feeling that he loves this matchup. I mean, the unit he's going against is in the bottom half of the league against the pass. He had to have circled this one on the schedule and said to himself, this should be a big game.
2nd and 6. Here's the first carry for Austin Eckler. 7 yards there and a first down. The Chargers at 7-5 now in a year. And they coming on a pretty good roll here. Winners of 3 straight.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
But now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
One thing that you're going to see from this offense is that they love the matchup with their wide receivers against this secondary. That one wasn't successful, but don't expect them to back away from attacking all game long.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Back to throw here, Herbert. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. And, Charles, part of the reason they lost last week, they didn't have a single sack. Well, they changed that quickly.
But did they ever? And it was something they talked about with us extensively. They needed to get pressure. How were they going to get to the quarterback? Obviously, they schemed themselves into a great play, didn't they?
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test them early. But they proved up to the task and forced the incompletion.
On is the punter Scott here as he gets this one away. Now Hill to return it. The 41-yard punt, 9 on the return, and it'll be Dolphin football. So Miami coming out for their second drive. And they are back down to 500 following the loss last week. Consistency has been a real issue for them so far.
Brandon, you almost don't know what team is going to show up every week. I mean, there's no consistency with this ball club at all, and if we feel that way, I know it frustrates the coaching staff, and it also has to frustrate the key leaders in the locker room. They got to figure out how to get coordinated.
Second and 8. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. That's complete. Once again, it's Gesicki. And he's going to be shoved out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. And it appears we have a Charger shaken up on that last play. More from L.A. in a moment. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. First carry for Raheem Mostert. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose one or two.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on first and second down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on second down and 11. Play action. Now it's Tua. Rush coming, and he's taken down. The veteran Kyle Van Noy in there to drop him.
Yeah, some real defensive resistance there. Saying not so fast to a good drive. They had marched to the end zone the last time out.
So now after the sack, Tua and the Dolphins staring at a third and long. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. He's going to drop this underneath to Mostert. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. And it appears we have a Charger shaken up on that last play. More from L.A. in a moment. So fourth down, Tua departs, and on is Jason Sanders and the Dolphin field goal unit. Sanders' kick is good, and the Dolphins will add on to their lead. So another scoring drive there, Charles, and an early 2-score lead.
You'd like the 6 there, partner, but you'll take the 3, and I think they have to be happy about the way they moved the ball in these first 2 drives. They have to feel good about their opportunities the rest of the game.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Now a stoppage here as it looks like we've got a Dolphin shaken up on the play. More from L.A. in a moment. The Charger drive about to get going. They'll look to get something started. They need to, down 10-0 early as they've got it first and 10. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
We'll put a check mark in the box for the defense coordinator. We're saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That'll allow him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely, frees up your guys elsewhere. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
They're looking for Judy, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Keon Crosser. And the Dolphins are going to take possession of the football. So first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
That's tremendous field position that they were given following the turnover, but they've still got work to do to get to field goal range, and the coverage we're seeing isn't going to make it easy.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
A couple of quick incompletions, and now they're just 1 more away from getting off the field. They've got options now. Could they dial up a blitz here or just drop everyone into coverage to crowd the throwing lanes?
Throwing is Tagovailoa on third down here. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 44 yards. And his guys now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that makes our score 17-0.
Chargers, nothing.
So an early advantage now and a good one. 17-0 our score as they kick this one away. Take it in at the 3. Now a hit and a loose football.
Hold on the play. Recovered by the receiving team.
So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. Once more, here's Eckler. 7 yards there and a first down. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, that he wants to hit that 200 mark. Let's see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you're feeding me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to him.
Running on first down, Eckler. Jerome Baker there on the tackle.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
That was not a real confident throw right there, and he's just 2 of 7 to start the game. Now he's going to have to find a groove with a big third down coming up. Let's see if his confidence can increase.
Off the play fake to Eckler, it's Herbert. And that is incomplete. On fourth down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. And that is very well done there, as this will be marked out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
That's a double win there, partner. You keep out of the return man's hands, and you pin him inside the 5-yard line. Pretty darn good.
The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. And Charles, they're really stringing these possessions and scores together early. We're still in the first quarter, but if they can score again here, look out.
Yeah, and as you taught me when we brought...
And that's caught inside the 35. And they'll work this down inside the 30. So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. Up the middle they go with Mostert. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. 17-0 our score after 1. It's Dolphins football here as we begin the second quarter. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Yellow, 1, this way.
On 2nd and 7. Tua. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. Now Tua. It's incomplete. Took a shot. Couldn't
Back-to-back incompletions of what was once a nice drive. Stalled out here. I'm going to give credit to the secondary partner. Never gave up as they gave up a few yards.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here, remember.
Well, maybe that's the
the spark that they needed here, Charles. Trailing, but a big block. We'll see if that swings the momentum a bit.
You mentioned the word spark. I'm just wondering, as they went off the field and the offense was coming out, did one of those special teams members say, hey, obviously we haven't given up on this one. We've given you a little bit of a spark. What are you going to do with it?
Herbert's throw here into the hands of the receiver, Judy. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. The end result, 21 yards.
And as a quarterback, you always want to exploit gaps in the defense, and he finds one here. Crossing route, working from right to left across the field. And once you get defenders going in the wrong direction, it is awfully hard for them to pivot back, and you end up getting the first down.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
All right, help me out here a little bit, partner, because what I'm seeing is a passing game that's just struggled to complete anything. No rhythm, no timing. Seems like every pass is also contested well, so give some credit to the defense.
And it's caught. And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. First catch there for OBJ, and that good for a first down.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Eckler fighting, but he won't get too far. Maybe a yard, that's all, down to the 2. Only a yard on the pickup there. Second and goal.
Brings up second and goal.
Eckler again. And he's in for a Charger touchdown. Austin Eckler, his 11th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Chargers take the blocked field goal and convert it into 6 points. Hopkins with the extra point, and that'll cut the lead to 17-7. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. Igbenogany elects not to return. The football will come out to the 25-yard line. Tyreek Hill making his way back out towards the huddle. He's up over 100 yards, has the touchdown. He's a big-time receiver in this league, so the question becomes, how do you limit him going forward?
Well, you know the guys trying to cover him, they haven't had a whole lot of success thus far, and while they will still accept the challenge, maybe you have to change your focus. You have to get after the quarterback a little bit, disrupt his timing, because right now it feels like pitch and catch. Make sure he's not able to have clear sight lines to him, and maybe that'll slow him down.
And this is not the guy you want to let play pitch and catch. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Off the play action, Tagovailoa. That's going to be caught by Waddle. Touchdown! Jalen Waddle with his 13th touchdown of the year and 2nd of the game. And the Dolphins are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. Here comes Nasir Adderley from his end zone. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. The offense heading back out as we take a closer look at Austin Eckler. And he's closing in on that number that all running backs circled beginning of the year, the number 1,000. Could do it on this drive.
And you have to think to yourself that this moment, getting to this spot, it started in the offseason, right? Not just the workouts, right? Not just getting yourself physically prepared to play, but mentally, as well as your team, as well as your unit, head coach, offensive coordinator. We run the football. We give you opportunities. He's taking advantage of it.
And when you get this close to the mark, you just hope things don't tighten up, right? You probably want to get there and get it in your rearview mirror.
You really do, don't you? Because now it becomes predominant, and you wonder about play calling as well. Do you want to call plays to get that out of the way, or are you still calling plays to win the game first? That becomes the burden of the play caller.
Herbert. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham. And he is going to have the Chargers first down as he's able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 5.
Chargers first down.
Now it's Herbert. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
Textbook coverage right there. Played the ball, never lost sight of where it was headed, and stayed in perfect position to make a play on it. Able to keep the receiver and the quarterback in his sight lines.
Play action this time for Justin Herbert. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Emmanuel Ogbah in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Just not much a quarterback can do there, CD. The pressure was in his face almost instantaneously, led to a very quick sack. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
I like the calmness of how he played the ball here. No panic in his eyes as that throw arrived. Tracked it from the moment it left the quarterback's hand, and that's just where he needed to be to knock it away.
Call that a 45-yard punt, just 2 yards there on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Jalen Waddle running out, and that means that the Dolphins ready for another drive on offense. We're in the 2nd quarter. He already has 2 touchdowns. We know how good he is. That's well documented. How do you contain him?
We know he's a nightmare. So in this situation, I would go ahead and double him. Maybe even have a 3rd person in the area and try and dissuade them from throwing him the football. Make someone else beat me for a while because I don't know that their talents are his. Because when he gets his hands on the ball, he breaks down my entire D. Someone else, they may not make the same type of a play.
Well, we know his talents are very good. And he'll have the Dolphins first down as good running gets him to about the 44.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
Tua's throw is taken in by Waddle. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Dolphins first down. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
But that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on 2nd down. Tua sets up to pass it. He'll get this into the hands of Mostert. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers' 17-yard line. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. As long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Basically, you're not going to outwork 2 guys very often.
Double coverage. I thought he was going to go somewhere else with the football. I get it. That's a stud wide receiver. You want to try to get him the football.
Yeah, sometimes you rely on him a bit too much. You forget the other options that are out there.
And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. It'll be a loss of 2, maybe 3 on the play. And that'll make it 3rd and 13. Not an easy spot here. We'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
What an excellent defensive stand there in the red zone. Nice tight coverage. They certainly recognized how important it was to bring up 4th down here.
The kick by Sanders is good, and the Dolphins will add on to their lead. So this time the protection holds up for him just fine, and he's able to bang it through.
I think their special teams coach got the point across. He gave him a pretty good earful after the block earlier, and this time there's no penetration, so they're able to pick up 3.
On the return, it's Adderley from his end zone. And he'll be out of bounds here, a yard shy of the 25 at the 24. But as we roll on here in the month of December, Week 14 coming up tonight, we got a good one in the AFC West. Get the parkas out, Kansas City and Denver from the frigid Empower Stadium at Mile High. And then tomorrow night you can turn those parkas in for some shorts, golf polos, and flip-flops. Monday Night Football in Arizona. Patriots, Cardinals, 8:15 Eastern. Quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting it once, you get first half scores just like this one.
He dumps it to Eckler underneath. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. A play fake, and now Herbert to throw. And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on third down, forcing the errant pass. Fourth down coming up. Here's J.K. Scott set to do the punting honors. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 30.